Why people in old movies seem to talk so funny. People in old movies spoke with a distinct accent. It was neither British nor American. It sounded posh, yet did not belong on either side of the pond. This accent was known as Mid-Atlantic. The Mid-Atlantic accent was a staple in old Hollywood films. It was an amalgam of American and British English. It conveyed a sense of sophistication and class. One theory traces the accent's roots to announcer English. Low-quality mics and speakers required clear speech. Speakers had to enunciate and emphasize words. This allowed the audience to understand them. The Northeastern elite class used Mid-Atlantic English. In the early 1900s, theater was elite culture's focus. Hence their accent was adopted. The accent gained momentum in American cinema. Film studios actively promoted it for actors. It was deemed more pleasing and glamorous for the big screen. Actors like Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant were masters. Mid-Atlantic was so popular that voice coaches were hired to teach it. The Mid-Atlantic accent had quasi-British elements. One example is its lack of rhoticity. Speakers dropped ending R sounds. They used I instead. For example, driver became driva. Cleaner sounded more like cleana. Mid-Atlantic speakers often used softer British vowels. They pronounced castle as castle. Dance was more like dance. Another characteristic was emphasizing the T sound. Typical American accents swap T for D, but Mid-Atlantic speakers stress the T instead. So, why don't we hear the Mid-Atlantic accent in modern movies? According to linguist William Labov,
teaching of this pronunciation declined sharply after the end of World War II. As a result, this American version of a posh accent has all but disappeared, even among the American upper classes.
But Mid-Atlantic may still be used stylistically. Meryl Streep used it to play Julia Child. It was a nod to the bygone era of old Hollywood. In Titanic, Kate Winslet, Billy Zane, and Frances Fisher all used the accent. It was one of the harmless features of old Hollywood. However, morality clauses were also common back then. Actresses were not allowed to have children. The studios thought it would ruin their sex symbol image. Even more troubling, asbestos was used as a backdrop in films. It was often used to create fake snow scenes. The exposure harmed many actors' health. Steve McQueen died of pleural mesothelioma, a cancer linked directly to asbestos exposure. The aluminum dust used in makeup also had toxic effects. Buddy Ebsen was originally cast as the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. The aluminum dust in his makeup severely affected his health. He almost died and was hospitalized. Ebsen was left with lifelong breathing problems. He had to leave the role due. He was replaced by Jack Haley as the Tin Man. They used a safe aluminum paste on Haley instead, but actors often ignored common sense for the perfect on-screen image. For example, Joan Crawford put boric acid in her eyes. It made them sparkle on camera.